Jangsam Pema Gisa Tumbola Yansin Choki Nutumni Pema Juni Shizuta Kurdu Kandu Mambigo Chichi Chizu Daluji Chinchin Labji Shizu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Yin Jinu Jangsam Pema Gisa Tumbola Yansin Choki Nutumni Pema Juni Shizuta Kurdu Kandu Mambigo Chichi Chizu Daluji Chinchin Labji Shizu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong
Hi, good evening, everyone, fellow Hong Kongers and friends around the world. Welcome to Dhyana, a quick meditation session with Mr. Khyentse Rinpoche in the evening for 5 consecutive nights. Let's welcome Mr. Rinpoche. Over to you, Rinpoche.
Okay. Hello and greetings to everyone. So, Dhyana loosely means training mind. These days it is understood as meditation. The ultimate aim of Dhyana is to see the truth. To see the truth of yourself, others, world, universe, everything. For the time being, Dhyana is or can be used to make our mind malleable. Right now, our mind is like a stone or a piece of wood, very rigid, not malleable. So, for instance, if you are angry, right this very moment, you can't just switch it off as you like. Or tomorrow, if you wish to be angry between 5:30 till 5:35, you may not be able to be angry. You can't just switch it on. So, Dhyana is good technique to make our mind workable. Dhyana is also, especially these days, practice to counter modern day problems such as depression, anxiety, so on and so forth. I'm sure many listeners, they don't really worry so much about knowing the truth. Nobody has time for truth these days. Even making the mind malleable, I don't know how many of you are interested, but many of you here tonight, I'm quite sure that you want to deal with like anxiety, depression, trauma, etc. Okay, so we are going to focus more on that, since that seems to be the demand when I read many of your questions. So let's think about anxiety. Have you ever wondered why we are, as much as we don't want to be anxious, have you ever wondered why we are not always anxious, we don't have the anxiety all the time? Because actually, practically everything that we encounter, the environment that we are in, practically everything should make you anxious. It's quite surprising that actually we only choose to be anxious with some things, but not everything. We live in crowded place. I mean, like Hong Kong, very crowded. That is a very anxious cause and condition. Our body is so fragile and light, like a feather. And we had long history of youth where so many strange wiring has happened on our brain. But you may notice this. We are widely, sometimes really crazily concerned about certain things, but other things we choose not to be anxious of. Even though many times we can't really separate the real danger and the false alarms. So what I'm saying is that fact that we choose to be anxious of something, not everything, even though they're all very valid to be anxious of. This is a good news. Right now, I am not anxious with this man who is taking photo of me. If you think about it, I have hundreds and thousands of reasons why I should be anxious of him. Not because he is a bad guy. He doesn't have to be a bad guy. But he himself is dependent on lots of cause and conditions. Okay? So, fact that we choose to be anxious of few things, but not everything, this is a good thing to know. Now, when we are anxious, mainly we are talking about something to do with the mind. Obviously, it's our mind that gets anxious. But mind and the body has incredible relationship. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to work with both mind and the body first. I should say, first we will work with the body. And when I say work with the body, don't get alarmed. I'm not going to do any yoga exercise. Even though you should do yoga, exercise, all that walking, all of this is supposedly good for anxiety. At least when you are on the treadmill, it occupies you and this will numb your anxiety. So it's good. But right now, when I say I'm going to give you, let's work with the body, no physical exercise, no yogas. Or on the other hand, I should say the best yoga we are going to do. Okay, so we are going to do this for 2 minutes. Some of you may be sitting right now. Some of you may be chopping vegetables. Some of you may be walking on your in the Hong Kong peak, or maybe you are walking around in shopping malls. This is what the Hong Kong people do. Don't stop. Do whatever you are doing. But for this next 2 minutes, we will do what I call observing the body. That's the best exercise for the yoga. Okay. So when I say observe, it's simply observe. No exotic thing I'm telling you. Observe your body vaguely from the top to bottom, or scan slowly, slowly. I don't know, from the top of your head to the top tip of your toes. You know, many times we do not observe. Do you even realize you have a 10 finger? Some of you 11 finger? Yes. So this is what we will do. Since I'm already sitting, I'm going to sit. It doesn't mean that those who are chopping vegetables, you should stop chopping vegetable and sit. You carry on, do whatever you are doing, just observe. Okay. As I said earlier, anxiety, mostly anxiety is something to do with the mind, but body and mind has so much connection. And because of that, sometimes body also ends up becoming cause and condition for more anxiety. Okay. Now, next, between mind and the body, there is a sort of a connector. Something that connects body and the mind, which is air, the breathing that we do. So we are going to do dhyana of breathing. And by the way, even you have never heard of dhyana of breathing, you probably have done it millions of times. When you are stressed, when you are sad, when you are angry, what do? You sigh. You breathe, you breathe out, like you sigh, and it somehow helps a bit, isn't it? We sigh because it helps us. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to do a better way of sighing. Usually we sigh both with nose and mouth, mainly mouth maybe. Now, since dhyana is a lot to do with a discipline, let us now decide not to use mouth. Next 3 minutes, no job for the mouth. shut your mouth, but not too tight. Just don't use it. This we can talk later. You overly using the mouth has created so much problem. Okay. 3 minutes, we are taking silent vow. 3 minutes, we are going to breathe in and out with a nostril. But when you breathe in and out, it's important that when you breathe out, you only breathe out. You don't breathe in suddenly in the middle. Finish the act of breathing out and then slowly breathe in. That's all you do. Breathe in and out fully for 3 minutes. So let's do that. Start now. Okay. So this 5 minutes, please try this. Those who have anxieties, worries, those who are having relationship problems, those who are anxious about COVID situation, those who are worried about Bitcoin situation, whatever cause of anxiety you have, please do this. I am not asking you to surrender to anything that is outside of you. Use your body and use your mind. Today, you use also breathing. Ideally, if you can do this with a little bit of a consistency, it should give you a result very soon. Okay, thank you. This is all for today.
This ends the session for today. Thank you very much. We start again the same time tomorrow. Thank you, Rinpoche.